Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors, Furniture Share and D. Scott Smith. Your donation of $60 will help provide a bed, pillow, sheet, and blanket for a child in need this Christmas. Go to FurnitureShare.org for more information. D. Scott Smith with Amazon Live and the Independent Planner. For Amazon Live author interviews, go to motivationallistener.live. And for your independent planner for 2022, go to independent-planner.com. Hey, good morning, everybody, or whatever time it is where you are today. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. I am so glad to be with you today. In fact, after this, I'm going into a meeting where I'm going to take a bunch of #RussSelfies, so it'll be fun. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. So glad to be with you today. You know, I am on location, and as you can tell, I am in my car because this is the beauty of live video. We can do this from wherever we are. And I'm just so thankful for this platform where we can come out and be a blessing, not only toward, it's a blessing for me, but we can be a blessing to other people, spreading positivity and joy. And today, I just want to remind you to be thankful. Be thankful. If you've not seen it already, we're leading up to, here in the United States, we're leading up to Thanksgiving next Thursday. And we have started a #1000Thanks movement. And I wish you would jump on board, start using that hashtag, start thanking people, reach out, be a blessing to people, give them a coffee, just thank them and give them an encouraging word. But when you're doing it on social media, use the hashtag 1000Thanks. We'd love for you to, we just want it to go viral so that we can remember that we need to be grateful and thankful every day. That is the only reason for this. And I'm so thankful to Cindy Mulligan, who was on our show yesterday morning. That was the inspiration for that. For Inger Van Roy, who also was on the show and was also inspiration. For D. Scott Smith, who came up with the name and is my great co-host of the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. So awesome. So it's so good to see everybody. Just want to remind you, this is Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie, every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am here. We talk marketing, we talk people, we talk connection, because, you know, we're all about how amazing people connect. So we hear a little bit from these amazing people like Angus Nelson, who's going to be on with me this morning. What an amazing man. And so thankful that he was blessing me with taking time to be on the live stream today and just to be with you today. So it's going to be great. We're going to bring him on in just a moment. Just wanted to remind you, I love people. I love to connect. And I wish you would connect with me if you haven't already at russhedge.com. That's right. russhedge.com is the place to go for all of my connection points, whether it's social media, email, phone number, whatever. You can get it there. Also, just want to remind you that, you know what? I am all about encouraging and inspiring you. And my why or purpose in life is to inspire and encourage you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. What does that mean? I want you to be a world changer. I want you to be a difference maker. I want you to get out there and do amazing things because God created you to do amazing things. So get out there today and just move forward one step at a time because you can do more than you even know. So I'm just encouraging you for that today. Wanted to also remind you that I'm the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. Had a 1-year anniversary a week ago. So excited. That book is available on Amazon and all online booksellers. Love to encourage you through that. It's a simple, easy to read book that will encourage and inspire you. So go to that today. You can also get it on my website. If you go to russhedge.com and you just go to the menu, buy book now, you can buy a book, they'll send it right to you. So any way that makes that easy. So I think that's enough about me. I am going to move on and we're going to bring Angus in. We're going to get this thing started. Good morning, Angus.
Woo woo!
Woo-hoo.
What's up, Russ? Great to be here this morning.
Oh, man, I love your attitude. I love your energy. So great. So great. So I am doing amazing. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic myself. I had a little business meeting this morning with my wife. She's been working with me for the last several months, and it's really cool to be able to actually work together as a couple. With that comes a lot of challenges, but getting better and better about how we navigate all that. And so I just came out of a meeting strategy for all of our plans for Black Friday and going live with all of our promotions, ... So now we get to talk to you.
That is amazing. Yeah. What a blessing to be able to work with your wife. I mean, that is so incredible. And, I just have enjoyed so much getting to know you. We had such a great conversation a short while back. And so I have got a good idea what amazing things you're doing. But why don't you give everybody a little rundown of where you've come from and what you're up to these days? Who is Angus Nelson?
Where have we come from? Where have we go? You got Cotton Eye Joe in my head right there. So I came from Nashville, Tennessee is where I'm currently located. And I had a background in my business world that took me through a lot of challenges. I did what all of us do when we get into hard spaces is we try and work harder. And one person once told me that life is like golf. The harder you try, the worse you do. And I ended up going through a whole lot of junk. I went through addiction, a divorce, and then on the back end of that, 3 years of becoming just a recluse, trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Here I was, this high-driven, high-capacity leader who had just dwindled into nothing. My self-worth was annihilated. I went into counseling and started filtering through what were all the things that were contributing to that, and started to learn about emotional intelligence and self-awareness and psychology, behavioral psychology, and all these different components, as well as a spiritual understanding of this thing called grace. I was really good with legalism and religion from my background. My dad was a pastor, and I carried all that pain, and I equivalent that with man and masculinity today is a lot of us just hide. A lot of men are in a place where they don't want to deal with emotions, don't want to deal with stuff. And so a lot of the things that I went through, men struggle with today. Flash forward years later, and I was working in an association for Fortune 500 brands, and I'm following what all of my clients are doing. Over 200 people from some of the top brands that if I told you all their names, you'd know exactly who those companies were. And these individuals were starting to show the same patterns that I went through. And I was like, huh, this is interesting. So I started these conversations like, hey, can you tell me about such and such? And we had more conversations about kind of their personal journeys than we did about digital transformation, innovation, and a lot of stuff we were supposed to be talking about. And that's what I learned. I had a gift that I could speak into people's lives and help guide them and navigate them into the places they wanted to really be. And so helping men be able to get to that place, and that's where I've exclusively focused is with men, to help them get to that place where now they can experience a personal transformation to where they get to reclaim their personal power and see themselves no longer as victims of the surroundings and experiences around them, but instead seeing themselves as being able to make decisions and intention that are going to transform their futures. So that's what I do. I'm the founder of Evolve Men coaching, and I help men from Fortune 500 brands, like I said, all the way into startup and entrepreneurs. And so I'm really excited to be here. I hope that set a great foundation for hitting all the parts in between.
Yeah, I I just find it amazing how you've overcome things that went on in your past, but you've learned from them, you move forward, and how you really are giving back, and you're giving out, you're serving people and helping men, and finding where God has gifted you to move into, be able to help people. And really, that's really what true coaching and true mentoring is all about, is helping others through a lot of our life experiences, and through maybe even things that we're going through now sometimes, and I think that's amazing. Nashville, what a great place. I have stories about that. My son's a musician, so he just got back from Nashville recording over there. So I always think of music
Nice. Yep.
in Nashville. And you sang right off the bat. Any music in your future?
I don't know about my future, but plenty in my past. I would say for my future, more karaoke to come. Definitely karaoke. One of my
Yeah.
favorite things.
Well, okay, so let's go back to, how you're really helping men to navigate through what they're going through. So give us some more information what that looks like.
So, my clients, they'll come to me with, a perspective of, I'm stuck, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I've got anxiety. And these are men who typically already have success under their belt. So it's not a matter of like, how do I become more successful? And quite frankly, for some of them, quote unquote, more success actually seems scary because they already feel like they can't do, anything with what they have. Because of that noise and that pressure that they're feeling. And what I help a lot of my clients do is reframe how they're seeing their leadership. That's number one. And that starts with seeing themselves. Why are you doing the things that you're doing? What are the stories that you're telling yourself as to why these things have to happen? Because these high capacity leaders now build up this company and they oftentimes don't delegate effectively. They don't offboard a lot of the responsibilities in a timely fashion so they can remain free with the margin and space in order to actually lead their companies well. And for men, asking for help, not the easiest or coolest thing to do in our society. Unfortunately, like we make men feel shame and pain for asking for help. We don't realize like men are born for brotherhood. If you look at our ancestors, men traveled in these tribes and these communities that were tight knit. And now in our modern day, we've all been splintered. We've been divided and we're all doing our own things. We put our head down, work hard, and don't feel. And these are the problems that men are facing in mental health and in their leadership is because they go isolated. They shrink into themselves and they become disconnected from those around them, whether it's the teams they lead, whether it's the partner that they have or with their kids. They find themselves easily getting annoyed and agitated because anything becomes a disruption of whatever's going on in their heads.
Right.
And we dare not ask for help. And so one of the most exciting things for me is helping men, again, extract a different perspective, almost like pulling them into a third person to kind of like oversee their lives and how they're thinking and giving them the tools to be able to see it differently. And now self-awareness becomes a natural byproduct of the tools that I give them, the resources I provide for them and exercise them through a new identity state. I help them to see on a daily basis through some of my exercises how to see the world differently, starting with how I see me differently. So they can go in front of a mirror, look themselves in the eye, and be proud of who they see.
Right. Well,
That's
I think
really rich.
We actually, I think a lot of us we grew up even with great parents who, dads who said, just tough it out. This is, guys don't cry, and it took the emotion and all that out of things, not because they weren't well meaning. That was how they had been raised and learned. And I think that, we all need community. And I think that when starting with your family, you don't have close connection and relationship with your family, then relationship with friends and community and other men that can speak into your life. I have a group of men that I meet with every week. That is amazing group that we have coffee and pray together and just meet and speak into each other's lives. And that is an amazing thing. We all need that. We all need that community, because then when we're having challenges or we're having problems, we have somewhere to go with those things. it's like you said, when you feel isolated and you feel separated and you feel that's the way, like you said, heaven forbid you should ask for help. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's a challenge.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm excited because there's more men doing what I do, this movement. And that's why I call it Evolved Men. It's like society, the world that we live in is calling us up to this next level because our parents, our dads didn't equip us with these kinds of perspectives.
Yeah.
And society hasn't supported us, in media and everything. The dads, the men, they all play these buffoons, and we don't know. We don't have a model for what does masculinity look like in 2021. The guys that are in power, the dudes that we think, are the ones that have it all together, are doing it from a place of politicking, bullying, aggression. That's not masculinity. That's just
No.
a douchebag. That's a jerk. And learning those skills in order to politic your way, fine, great. Now you have all this stuff, but you're still a miserable SOB. And where I love to play is to step into the realm of these guys that are conflicted and they know there's something different and they know there's something more. They already have these high capacities and they're already, kicking butt on really cool areas in their life. And I help them say, hey, the areas that you're capable of being super successful over here, you're also capable of being super successful over here. So while your work and the things that you do seem to come easy to you or are, effortless, on the other side so that you find conflict in this emotional realm, in this relational realm, you are just as capable of being successful there too. Let's just take some of the same skills and reapply them into a different direction, because if you can get your mind around you are worthy, you do deserve, and you do have what it takes in this arena, then suddenly you can find fulfillment and satisfaction because of who you be, not just in what you do. Most men are doing what they do because on some level there's still a little child inside of them that's wanting to be validated, that's wanting to please someone else through their behavior. And that's the dirty little secret that we don't talk about, is that so much of what men are doing, and this goes for women in many respects too, but in terms of what our context here is, helping them take the throttle off of the performance and now moving it into this being, this place of empowerment, this place of engagement, this place of, here's a great way of saying it. What if you could walk into a room with nothing to gain, nothing to prove, and nothing to lose? That's when you're truly powerful.
Wow.
That's when you're truly powerful.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, is that I think everybody has their limiting beliefs. Everybody has a certain amount of imposter syndrome. Everybody has a certain amount of thinking, okay, yeah, I'm good with this, but I'm not really good at those things. And they're just really holding themselves back. And they need somebody like you to speak into their life. They need other men, other people to speak into their life and tell them that they are capable. We are all capable of amazing things. God created us to do incredible things way beyond what we believe we can actually do. And it takes that encouragement and that speak from somebody else that, so much of it is bottled up, like you said, inside of us. And we just need somebody to help bring that out. And that's amazing that you do that. I mean, I just want to ask you another question about that. And that is, so you concentrate mostly on men.
Yeah.
Do you ever deal with women or families or other things outside of that? Or do you pretty much stay in your lane with men?
So if you look down the path of where we're going with Evolved Men, couples will be the next iteration, and then we'll get into women. My background came from ministry, and
Right.
what I found, as I got into my work, like I really gravitated towards men. But in that process, my wife and I actually, people would just come to us for marriage counseling. And so we did a lot of couples counseling and marriage counseling, and we actually wrote a book about it. We haven't released it yet, but it's called Lovesick, and it deals with the 3 viruses that kill relationships: judgment, offense, and expectation. And then we have 3 examples under each one of those of 9 couples that we had worked with, and we were able to point out what those look like as case studies. And in the end of the book, we basically tell you, like, if you do what we've instructed you, you can immediately change the dynamic of your relationships because they have nothing to do with your partner. They're your own judgments, offenses, and personal expectations.
Right.
And if you aren't articulating these things, if you aren't having conversation around these things, you're going to perpetually cause pain in your relationship. So I do have one couple that I'm helping right now in their business. The wife approached me and said, "Hey, will you coach women?" I'm like, "No, I don't coach women. That's not my thing. I shoot really straight. And I just really have a heart for men." She's like, "Well, what if you could coach my husband in our business, and it's our business and I'll just sit in on the meetings?" I'm like, "Well, we'll do it as an experiment." And so that's actually what we've been doing.
She
So
found
I
her
do
way
have
around
one.
it.
Yeah, she did. And clever her. She did. Well done, well done, well done. And so they're my first guinea pigs. So that's why I say, like, down the pike, I know we'll get into some of that stuff. Right now, I'm just taking a very concentrated effort because the biggest need I see is for men to give themselves permission to see who they really are. And if I could, I want to touch real quickly, like, I don't talk about my spiritual component that much. And since it feels like you've kind of opened the door, like,
You bet.
for those that come from a Christian practice, I think many times we have misconstrued the promises and the equipment that we've been given. And we make it like this concept of we're sinners saved by grace, and we walk in this complexity of duality, that we're loved by God, but we're not loved by God. We're loved by God, but we're not loved. And that becomes a really bad, record player in our heads. Second of all, you stack onto that, faith without works is dead, is a scripture that people misconstrue. And they say, well, that works is you have to do a lot of things and then you can earn the right, in faith. And I was like, no, works is, I mean, let's just take a compound sentence. That's one sentence. Don't misconstrue it and add meaning to that word works beyond everything else. Faith without works. The only thing that works has to do with faith is stepping out and taking action. So it's one thing to believe is faith. Work is just take the first step.
Right.
And so we add on to that now. Number one is that you are loved unconditionally. That's what you're equipped for. That's what Jesus is for, unequivocally. Don't make it about your behavior and your performance, or you're right back to the trap. That's all religion and legalism. So first of all, you're loved. You're accepted. You're worthy. Number two, all you have to do is see what's in your heart. God gave you these desires. He gave you these hopes, these dreams for a reason. Don't sit there and say, well, I'm going to just wait for God to show me something. No, God already showed you something. He planted the seed in you. And then you stack onto that, like, these things that are inside us. First you see it, then you can be it. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. The things that are in you that are being called and cultivated, whether you want to call it your spirit, your intuition, there are things that you have inside you calling. And then you choose to speak those things that are not as though they are.
Right.
You start speaking those things into being, like, I believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this. I'm going to create that. I'm going to start this business. And you start to tell people around you these things until you can bring that into manifestation. And then God can do the exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask, think, dream, or dare imagine, because the only creator of the universe, the one who's spoken as it was and has become a continual expansion of our universe, now dwells inside of you. How much more should you be echoing that same reflection of expansive power?
Right.
Where he who dwells in you, you can do all things, and you can speak these things into being. And now from that place of power is this source and supply, dominion, authority, glory, and power. And now you should shine with a light because people see you as this person of audacity and confidence. And you are the city on a hill that cannot be hid.
Right.
Why is the world of Christianity not the number one entrepreneurial launch pad on this world for wealth creation? That boggles my mind.
Well, that is an amazing. I'm just about to start yelling, preach it. I mean, that was awesome. And yes, no, you're right. And we really need to take a look at, how we've been so blessed what we should be so grateful for and what God has equipped us to move forward and do. And everybody, no matter what their faith, no matter what their belief system is, has been equipped for amazing things. And so, and I just echo your sentiments. I just feel like God has focused my life and directed me in all that I've done. So thankful for that, and so blessed to have godly men like you around me. Unfortunately, we're wrapping up the show already. It's hard to believe, but people are going to want to know more about you. So give us a quick rundown of where they can get in touch with you and learn more.
Super simple. I have it written here on the little this side, the little corner of my screen. Just go to angusnelson.com. Everything that you could possibly want to find is right there. Super easy call to action. angusnelson.com.
Wow, that is easy. Well, you and I have a lot in common. I have russhedge.com because I think the easier it is for people to get in touch with you, the more often they will. So listen, thank you so much. We're going to continue this relationship. I appreciate being connected. I always joke with everybody that I'm a lifetime connector. So you're my friend. I do appreciate you, and we'll stay in touch.
Awesome. Thanks, Russ. Great to meet you too.
Hang tight for just 1 second. I'm going to send you out to the green room. Thank you, everybody. Oh my goodness. What an awesome morning. What an awesome morning. If you could please share this out to other people. I know so many people watch on replay, and make sure you share this out. Those of you that are watching, if you watch this after, put hashtag replay in there. And I am just so blessed to know Angus and have him here this morning. I just wanted to remind all you that we are pushing and encouraging everybody. That's a better word, not pushing, encouraging everybody and trying to inspire you to use hashtag 1000 thanks. But use it as you are thanking and blessing other people, as you're speaking life into other people, as you are being thankful and grateful for what others have done for you and what you have in your life. So make sure we're coming up on Thanksgiving here next week in the U.S. Whether you're in the U.S. or not, it doesn't matter. We all should be thankful. And I appreciate all of you. Don't forget, hashtag 1000 thanks. And it's the number 1000 and then thanks. And it'll be here in the show notes. It'll be in the comments. Make sure also that you don't forget to come join us every week on Marketing with Russ. It's Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Love to have you here. And yes, thank you, Inger, for just a wonderful, wonderful conversation yesterday too, where Inger was part of our whole development of this 1000 thanks. And she is such a grateful, thankful person. So appreciate everybody. Again, Marketing with Russ every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Love to see everybody here. Thank you so much for being here today. Until we see it again, have a great day and a great life. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.